Welcome to Handson with Jota. So today we are going to take a look into function generators. This is a very interesting topic. Actually, I was taking a look into it to show some things here and there, but the fact is that I actually learned a lot from this, because basically there are a lot of things that I'm not using from them nowadays, but I was using them for all kind of things, right? So let's take a look into what is this guy, what is this function generator doing for you, right? So I'm going to come to this page, going to make an inspect. Then I'm going to run here a very simple function generator, which is going to be, say, function and then we specify like this with a star at the very beginning, right? So no. So that's going to be next. So the idea is going to be this one, right? So say that we define something like this, and then we say something like const generator gen de uno, right? So now we're going to say generator dot next, and you're going to see that it will give you back a value with the one which is the very first value that it got yielded, right? So if I go next, it goes to the second yield, which is going to be the one that comes with the I that I pass as an argument here, and it's going to be able to add a +2. If I do it one more time, it's going to say, okay, it is done, and there is no more value for it. So the idea is the following: the function generators are going to allow you to work with functions that are going to be able to, you're going to be able to yell at a certain point of the function. You're going to be able to do something else, and then you're going to be able to get back to this function, execute it again with the next, and it's going to go to the next point. And the good part on this is that it's going to be saving the value of that context. For example, in this case, the I is going to be executed here in the second point, and basically it is remembering these values, right? So this is a interesting feature from these guys. Of course, there are some other things that you can do. That these are some of the things that I was learning from it. So you can basically you can do a lot of crazy things and also cool things. So the crazy things that I will be a little bit touching in regards to do so or not is that you can call from one function generator to another function generator and start making systems like that, and that's kind of weird. For example, basically you can yell the execution of a function generator to another function generator, and then that's kind of complicated at some point if you start creating things in that way, right? So for example, here's an example of this case. MDN is a very nice page to actually take a look into some of these different solutions that they provide here. Basically, you can do the following. You can say another generator, which is going to be called as a yell of this generator. So then you can run, you're going to run first one, this one, then it's going to run this one, and it's going to start yielding these values, and then it's going to start running this one. So you see there should be a very specific use case for doing such a thing. That's my point of view in regards to this one. It's not that it's wrong or it is right. It's just that we should be careful with the way that we use some of the different tools that we have in our hands, right? So this in regards to this this particular use case. Or than that, as you see, it gets you here the value and so on. But there is something very interesting that you can do, which is the piece of code that is here, where you can say that a certain class or a certain object is going to be working with a certain iterator, function generator, that is going to be making the symbol iterator of this object. So basically what it's doing here is that for some object, it's going to define it as iterable using the symbol iterator that is going to be working with this function generator. So in that way, we are creating an array out of this sum object, which is going to contain here the A and the B. This is, for me, this is very, very interesting as well. I never did something like this, but basically you could handle the way that you're going to be working with the different iterations of a certain object and make it iterable in the way that you want to. I never had the need to do something like this, but I'm going to tell you in which case I actually use it. I use it a lot. And this comes from this library, which is a library that for me, from my point of view, it is a great library. It works like a charm. Probably nowadays that everybody's starting to use effects and different kind of things. Now maybe it is not that much of a need for some cases, but I will still give it a chance because I think there are very cool stuff here. And basically what's happening here is that when you're working with a certain React application, in many cases, or at least in the past, you can use other things nowadays too. You can use a Redux state, and this Redux state is going to be someone who is going to have the whole state of your application, right? So Redux Saga allows you to work with the actions that are going to be working with this state, but the ones that are basically asynchronous. So in this way, what this guy is going to be doing is the following. Okay, I'm going to be fetching the information from an API. So this guy is using a function generator to get information of a certain API, right? And once you get the user, it just change the state of Redux by giving the user that comes here, right? That's what it's doing. If something got wrong or it failed, it will give you back another kind of action so you can handle this situation with your Redux state. So basically this is very interesting because this way we were able to decouple all of the different actions that we were working with a certain Redux state and the calls to an API, all these effects of calls to APIs and synchronous actions, right? So this is a very, very interesting way to work with function generators. Or than that, something you can see as well is that you can make for example, infinite loops, like saying you're going to be able to say, okay, I'm going to go to the next value, to the next value, to the next value, to the next value, up to the moment that there are no more values. So the idea is that you will be able to create your own iterable out of a function generator that is going to be able to go through all of the different values without caring about how many values you have there. So there are different kind of usages for these kind of things, and in some cases even they are even behind the scenes, like saying maybe I really feel like sometimes they are there. This function generator is there, and it's being used by some libraries, and maybe it is even implicit for us. So the intention is the following: to take a look into this guy a bit more and just know some of the common use cases for this guy. For my case, was using a function generator for connections to an API and making all of the different connections and calls to this API. That was my use case. For other cases, I see that you can actually make your own iterable objects, and you can yield your own values in the way that you want. And you can even, you see here it says, will be saved across the entrances. So basically this is a very, very interesting way to work with information that's going to be binded, we can say, at some point, right? And it says that they can be very powerful in combination with promises and asynchronous programming. That's the use case of Redux Saga. So it is very interesting. It says here that, however, an event even simpler, well, for the cases of promises, could be that there is even a more simple solution that comes from async functions in some cases. But these are different topics from my point of view. I think that function generators and async functions, they could have some sort of relation in regard to how to solve a certain promise situation, but it does not mean that they are not going to be there. Function generators are there for many reasons, right? That comes from this guide. So okay, so that's it from side. This is in regard to function generators and some of the use cases. Basically, making from an object something that's going to be iterable. If you wanted to yielding certain values, you are going to be able to call an API using Redux Saga library, for example. And yeah, basically this is going to be in regards to working with function generators, right? So I hope that you like it, and if you did so, just click the like and subscribe to the channel. Have a good one, and happy Easter. Ciao, ciao.